All right, you are recording when you're ready.
Good morning. I hope you guys can bear with me. It's a little early. As our society grows and our needs grow with it, we are continuing to develop more and more ways of generating energy. And as we increase our ways of generating energy, the older methods we use tend to create more and more pollution, which has been in recent years a large issue that's come up. So a question that comes up often is how can we generate just as much or more energy and reduce the ecological damage caused by the older forms or by replacing them? Well, by utilizing renewable energy sources and having them cooperate with each other, we can create a new system that can produce just as much and more with near zero or exactly zero carbon output, which would then improve living conditions around the world. We all use power every day. We're using it right now. It's becomes so essential to our lives that without it, many of us probably couldn't function very well, unless you're really good at going out into the woods and just sort of surviving out there by yourself. But most of us don't do that. I'm currently a student enrolled in the renewable energy program for the solar, getting a associate of applied sciences in solar energy. And I'll be speaking about the renewable energies, specifically solar, wind, and nuclear power. So first things first, solar power. Solar power is useful as it's good for intercity and compact production. Due to cities being very compact and there's not a whole lot of land, you need something that can generate power but not take up a lot of space. Now, solar power can utilize unused roof space that is, I'm sure you all know, very common in cities. How many times have you looked at a cityscape and seen unused roof space, things where there's nothing but AC generators or, AC units and other handful of things on a roof that don't take up a lot of space. There's a whole lot of stuff that doesn't do that wouldn't really be in the way. And so there's plentiful space for it. And it would be rather, what's the word? Be rather productive in itself. So just so you can get an idea of how much energy we could produce, according to NASA's Earth Observatory outlet, the amount of power reaching the Earth from the sun is about 1,360 watts per square meter. And current photovoltaic or solar panel technology is, according to solar.com, by the way, solar.com is a website that specializes in connecting consumers to proper solar markets. So solar.com estimates that the average efficiency of a solar panel, a modern solar panel, is between 17 to 19%. So 17 to 19% of that 1,360 watts is about 230 watts per square meter. And the square meterage of all the unused rooftops in a city would be, multiplied by that would be how much power we could get in a city, which you could imagine is a lot. However, I couldn't find any concrete sources of unused roof space in a city, in any specific city. So solar power can heavily reduce the intercity need for power. However, solar power will not solve all our problems. You need power outside of the city. Most cities will probably use more than they can generate in a small area like that. That's when we get to wind. Wind is a very good option for rural or supportive power production. Wind power does take up a lot of space. However, it's very good to be used in rural areas because it doesn't tend to interfere with agricultural land and such. Normally, only about around 2% of agricultural land that the wind turbines are installed on aren't actually usable for agricultural purposes anymore. So 98% of the state remains useful. So, for example, how they take up a lot of space, west of Salina, actually, we have the Smoky Hill Wind Farm. The Smoky Hill Wind Farm, according to the developing company, the owning company of the developing company, the owning company being Tradewind Energy, the Smoky Hill was installed in 2 phases. The first phase was built upon 12,000 acres, and the second phase was built upon 14,000 acres. And together they produced 250 megawatts. So it's a lot of power, but it's a lot of space. And Kansas, according to the Department of Energy's Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy, Kansas utilizes 41% of all of its power coming from wind energy sources, which is, I believe, the highest in the nation and is quite a large chunk overall. So now that we have solar producing in cities and we have wind producing in the rural areas, we all know that sometimes the wind doesn't blow, and sometimes the sun doesn't shine, and sometimes those 2 things happen at the same time. Well, then we have a tertiary source, sort of a backup for the backup. Our tertiary source could be nuclear power. We currently have a nuclear power plant in Kansas. However, it isn't utilized to its full potential. So nuclear power works well as a tertiary source of power because it has a high yield, zero emission, and relatively low amount of waste. So according to an article in the U.S. Energy Information Administration entitled Nuclear Explained, 20% of the United States, of the U.S. power grid is supplied by just 19 nuclear power plants in the nation. A single nuclear power plant can produce about 1 gigawatt of power. Now, 1 gigawatt, just so everyone knows, is 1,000 megawatts, and 1,000 megawatts is 1,000 kilowatts. When you get your power bill every month, it's in kilowatt hours. So that's how many kilowatts you used for that many hours, roughly. So now that we can produce a rather large amount of energy from a nuclear power plant, how large is it? The Nuclear Energy Institute, it's a nuclear trade association, nuclear energy trade association, states that the average nuclear power plant that can produce 1 gigawatt is only about 1 square mile in size in comparison to a solar farm or a wind farm. It is a solar farm of the same productivity would take about 75 square miles, and a wind farm of the same productive ability would take about 360 square miles. So it saves on space and it produces plenty of energy. And in the future, the possibility of utilizing the waste of nuclear power plants, that is the plutonium that is left over from the nuclear fissile reaction, may be able to be used in future nuclear power plants to generate even more energy. However, that's in the future and a little bit beyond the scope of this speech. Now that it's really clear that today we can utilize all of these newer and different energy sources, we can meet all demands of today and in the future without generating excessive ecologically damaging emissions, excuse me. We see now that the future of energy looks a lot different than it did 40 years ago. 40 years ago, people thought we would still be using coal for another 100 years. And fortunately, it's changing. I hope that you all learned something about the renewable energy the renewable energy sources that will likely continue to shape our world tomorrow. Thank you.